So today I'm covering the case study, and this case study is based on service modeling approach. So in my previous videos, I have covered the detailed service-oriented architecture analysis phase. So in analysis, the service modeling approach is again used, and today I'm covering that service modeling approach with the help of case study. So I'm covering part one of this case study today, and in my next lecture, practically I am demonstrating with the help of table. I am demonstrating the same case study, timesheet submission process. So let us start this case study, timesheet submission process. So this case study, this is a real case study I have taken from the SOA Thomas Earls book. So TLS, this case study is applicable to this TLS organization. So TLS organization, they are facing the problem. So they have mentioned their problem, and we are providing the solution to the TLS organization. So TLS attempts to address a problem with their current timesheet submission process. So currently they have the manual timesheet submission process, and with the help of that particular process, they have identified the problem, and that problem, based on the problem statement is again prepared. So let us see the problem statement. The problem faced by TLS organization related to timesheet submission process. The problem is like this. TLS is outsourcing organization. They outsource the maintenance job from their employees, and for that they have appointed the contract basis employee, and this contract basis employee performs the maintenance job, and against that maintenance job this particular organization charges the customer. So customer gives the maintenance requirement to TLS, and with the help of their maintenance employee, so they fulfill that task and they charge to the customer. So this is the basic scenario of that particular organization. So TLS is outsourcing organization. They outsource the maintenance job with the help of their contract-based employee. With these employees, fill out their weekly timesheet. So in a particular week, the employee prepare one document, and the name of that document is timesheet document. So employee fills the timesheet document, and they required to identify what portions of their time were spent at customer side. So they are solving the customer problem. Therefore, they visit the customer site, and they have to mention the total number of hours they have worked at customer site. So that information is recorded in the timesheet document, and that timesheet again submitted to the TLS organization. So they are submitting these timesheets to the clerk. So currently manual systems they are using. So currently amount of time for which a customer is billed. So the clerk is appointed for preparing the bill to the customer. So clerk prepares the bill based on the timesheet submitted by the employee. So clerk manually entering the hours from an appointment schedule. So the first document is appointment schedule. Customer gives the maintenance task, maintenance job, and based on that appointment is scheduled, and in appointment they mention the hours, and that hours are again considered at the time of preparing the submission of the timesheet. So sometimes discrepancy arises when the employee timesheet entries do not match with the hours billed on customer invoice. So the appointment is again scheduled. In the appointment, clerk mentioned the hours required for completing that particular task, but in some cases the employee may require the less time, less number of hours, or more number of hours. So in that case, in some cases, the discrepancy arises when the employee timesheet entries do not match the hours billed on customer invoice. So hours billed on customer invoice is taken from the employee means clerk from the appointment schedule. So at the time of fixing the appointment, the clerk assigns the time for solving that particular required. But in some cases, employee may require more time for solving that particular uh, maintenance job. So in that case, the discrepancy arises. So to address that discrepancy problem in TLS, they have decided to integrate their third-party time tracking system with their large distributed accounting solution. So their aim is to integrate the third-party time tracking system with their existing accounting solution. They have already accounting solution and they are trying to integrate that third-party timesheet tracking system with their accounting solution. So let us discuss the solution for the case study. So let us identify the business requirement required for the analysis phase. So in the analysis, we are identifying the requirement. After identifying the requirement, decomposition method. So decomposition is took place, and after the decomposition, um, the the task based or entity based approach is again preferred, and based on that, the scenarios are again identified, and based on that scenarios, the diagrammatic representation of the that particular problem is again uh, solved with the help of diagrammatic represented with the help of this analysis phase. So business requirement for analysis phase. So every time TLS receives from the workers outsourced to customer is required to undergo a series of verification steps. So whenever the employee fills the timesheet and submits that timesheet to the clerk, then clerk undergo a series of verification steps. So let us discuss the steps. If the timesheet is verified successfully, so the clerk verify the timesheet, and if the timesheet is verified successfully, the process ends. Timesheet is verified successfully, the process ends, and the timesheet is accepted. But in some cases, whereas a timesheet that fails the verification, in that case, submit a separate rejection step prior to the process ending. So that in some cases, the timesheet is rejected. So in some cases, the timesheet is rejected. So let us see the rejection scenario. So see here, the scenario, the current process is the clerk receives the timesheet from the employee. The clerk verify the timesheet. How that verification is again took place? If the timesheet is verified, accept the timesheet, accept the timesheet submission, and process to the next fifth step. If the timesheet is not verified, so rejection step is there. The fourth step is rejection. Fifth step is acceptance. So fourth step is reject the timesheet submission. So here two tasks are again executed by the clerk. The first step is verification of timesheet, and second step is rejection of timesheet. So let us discuss the second step and the fourth step in detail. How to verify the timesheet and how to reject the timesheet. So let us see the diagrammatic representation of verification timesheet process and rejection timesheet process. So after rejection, the that process is terminated. So let us see the diagrammatic representation of submission process, second process. So how to this particular timesheet is again verified. So timesheet is verified with the help of the data is provided by the employee. So employee provides the hours recorded on timesheet. So employee mentioned the total number of hours spent on customer side. So that hours are again mentioned in the timesheet. 2 hours billed to the customer. So compare the hours recorded on timesheet and the recorded hours on the bill submitted to customer. So confirm that authorization was given for any recorded overtime hours. Suppose the hours recorded in the timesheet is 2 and hours billed to the customer is 2. So both the hours are again matched. Then the next step is confirm that authorization was given for any recorded overtime. Suppose in 2 hours that customer side job is not over. In that case, the employee takes additional overtime for 1 hour and solve that particular job. And customer gives the authorization for that additional 1 hour. So authorization is also received. The timesheet recorded timesheet hours are 3, billed hours are again 3. So and the additional overtime hours, the confirmation is received from the customer. So confirm that total hours recorded. Now the total hours are 3, 2 hours billed and 1 hour overtime, and the confirmation is also received. So confirm the total hours recorded 1 week to do 1 week do not exceed a predefined maximum limit. So these are the contract-based employees, and in a particular week they are assigning the fixed number of hours. Suppose the fixed number of hours assigned to a particular worker is 10, employee is 10, then they check the limit, total number of hours. And if that number exceeds to a predefined maximum limit for that worker, in that case, so confirm the total hours recorded for 1 week do not exceed a predefined maximum limit for that worker. In that case, the employee's timesheet is accepted. Verification is completed. So recorded hours match with billed hours. Then in case of overtime, the authorization is provided by the employee, that customer to that particular employee. And the third condition is total hours recorded for 1 week do not exceed a predefined maximum limit for that worker. So all the conditions are again satisfied. After that, the timesheet is accepted. If one of the case, if one of the if statement is not satisfied, the timesheet is rejected. So let us see the rejection process. If the timesheet is rejected based on the 3 conditions, in that case, what action is again taken? To update the worker's profile record to keep the track of rejected timesheet. So they reject the particular timesheet of that particular record of that particular employee. So rejecting the timesheet, then issue a timesheet rejection notification or message to that worker or employee, and issue a notification of workers manager. So these workers or employees, they are working under a manager. The manager is also assigned to each and every worker or employee. So they also send the notification to manager that this timesheet is rejected due to this particular reason. So reason may be the recorded hours must match with the billed hours. The second condition is in case of overtime, the authorization is given by the customer. And the third task is uh, the maximum limit, predefined limit is not reached. All the three conditions are again satisfied, accept the timesheet, and if not, then you reject the timesheet. And in that rejection, you perform the three tasks. The first is reject the timesheet. Then next is send the message to the rejection message to the worker and send the rejection message to that worker's manager. So this is what the total flow. You start the timesheet submission process, receive the timesheet from the employee, compare the billed hours, the hours match. Then if the overtime is there, in that case, check the confirm the authorization. If the authorization is yes, then confirm the hour limit in a particular week, maximum limit, because they are giving a proper means same weightage to each and every employee. They are not giving the more job for a particular employee or less job for a particular employee. So equal number of hours job is assigned to each and every employee as per his maximum limit. So confirm the hours limit. All the three conditions are again satisfied. In that case, his time sheet is accepted. And out of these three conditions, any one condition is again false, then update the worker profile, means reject the timesheet, then send the rejection message to the manager, worker's manager, and send the rejection message to the worker or employee. So here these two approaches means preferred by the analyst. So analysts use here the two approaches. The first one is task-centric service. So task-centric approach, and the second approach is entity-centric service-oriented design. So entity-centric approach and task-centric approach. So first I am explaining you the task-centric approach. So task-centric services. So here this particular problem is divided into two important tasks in the task-centric service. The first task is timesheet verification task, and second task is timesheet rejection task. So in analysis, the two approaches are again used by the system analyst for analyzing this particular case study. So they prefer the task-centric or entity-centric. So here the problem is again solved with the help of task-centric, divided into tasks. And in second case, the problem is solved with the help of entity. So they convert this problem into entity database, and then with the help of a relational database, they solve the problem. So here the task is again divided into two types. The first task is timesheet verification task, covers the three services: compare the billed hour service, confirm authorization service, and confirm hour limit service. The three main conditions are again tested, and for that, three web services you have to write. And in rejection, the three web services. So in case the first web service update the employee profile that his timesheet is rejected. So the next is web service. Again, you require a new web service for sending the message to the worker's manager. So every worker, every employee is working under a manager. So sending the information to manager also that his employee's timesheet is rejected due to particular reason. So out of these three reasons, they mention the name of the reason and send the message to that individual worker that his timesheet is rejected because of these three, out of these three reasons. So out of these three, one of the reason is again applicable for the rejection. So that message is again uh, executed and given to the worker. So to computerize this particular problem is again solved, decomposed into 6 different web services. To solve this, they have identified the 6 different web services or 6 different groups. So the timesheet and reject timesheet. So these are the two main web services. So the two main web services are again developed, and in these two main web services, they have these web services are getting divided into different methods. So the first method is get recorded hours from customer and date range. So in a particular date, in a particular week, many dates are again involved. So get the recorded hours from customer timesheet. Then get billed hours for customer and the date range. So get the billed hours. So this entry is taken from the timesheet and this information is taken from the bill database. So from the bill or invoice database, this information is taken, and from the timesheet, this data information is taken. So I'm showing you the database required for this particular application in my next video, part 2 video. Currently, we are analyzing the case. So compare the recorded hours. So recorded hours is again compared with the billed hours. So you require a small case study for this. These are the division of the case study into small web services. Then get the overtime hours for the date range and check the authorization. Authorization is received or not for a overtime hours. So this is also taken from the timesheet entry. Confirm the authorization. If the authorization is received, then the timesheet is accepted. So get weekly hours limit. So in a particular week, a fixed number of hours are again assigned to every employee. So if that limit is not reached, then only that timesheet is again accepted. So compare the weekly hours limit with the hours recorded, and then the timesheet acceptance decision is taken by the clerk. So in case of rejection, 3 different tasks are again performed. The first task is updating the employee history table, then sending the message to the employee, and third is sending the message to the manager. So the task of timesheet service candidate and the task of rejected timesheet service candidate. So 2 services and the task. So we see here the 2 services. So a simple service composition consists of 2 hybrid task-centric service candidates. So here we have used the task-centric service analysis, and with the help of this task-centric service analysis, this particular case study, we have divided um, this particular case into 2 different tasks. The first task is verifying the timesheet service, and second task is verifying the reject timesheet service. So this is what the first approach. The second approach. So let us discuss the second approach. This second approach is again deriving from the entity-centric service. The first is task-centric, and second approach is entity-centric service. So to computerize this, we require the entities, databases, relational databases. And here I have explained these relational databases with the help of the databases or classes and the attributes. So next is TLS analyst begin by reviewing an existing entity model relevant to timesheet submission process. So they have used the timesheet submission process with the help of entities. So the entities involved to required for computerizing this particular problem is you required an employee table, you required a timesheet table, you required invoice table, and you required the employee history table. So you may add few more tables. See here, the customer information is recorded here. So for the customer, you can take a separate customer table and you take the reference of the customer ID here in this particular table. So the analyst is free to add the table or remove the table. So previously, 4 entities identified for computerizing this application. So employee table contains email address, his personal details, and weekly hour limit. Every employee, the weekly hours limit is again mentioned by the clerk or the organization based on their skill set. Time sheet में क्या क्या रहेगा? What are the fields of time sheet? The employee ID reference, the date, then recorded hours, overtime hours, and in case of overtime hours, the authorization received from the customer, yes or no, so that authorization ID is also considered and customer reference is also taken. Then invoice, the invoice is again prepared by the clerk and given to the customer. So that invoice contains customer information, detailed information, hours billed, and billing period. So the time and period for solving that particular maintenance job. So that is mentioned in the invoice, clear cut. And in case of rejection, the employee information may receive the comment or message from the system. So that message is stored inside the comment field in employee history table. And relationship is mentioned, one to many, one to many, one to many. So this is what the table structure, relational database structure required for solving this particular problem. So after identifying the classes, the methods are again identified. The class name is timesheet submission process. So see here, timesheet submission process. So timesheet, attribute, and here the timesheet and methods. So these 3 methods are again applied on timesheet submission process service. The first method is compare the recorded hours with the billed hours. So this is one criteria we require for accepting and rejecting. If the recorded hours and billed hours matches, timesheet is accepted. Else, the timesheet is rejected. Comes from the authorization given by customer, yes or no. If the authorization is given by the customer, then accept the timesheet. If the authorization is not given for that additional means overtime job from the customer, in that case reject. And compare the weekly hours limit are below the hours maximum hour limit recorded in employee table. So match, compare that and then accept or reject. So timesheet. So see here, timesheet, get recorded hours for customer, give overtime hours and get authorization. So these are the 3 methods applied on the timesheet service. The operations methods applied on invoice entity is get the customer details, because in invoice customer name, address, everything is again printed. So getting the customer information from the customer table is again a part of invoice. And get billed hours. So prepare the bill and that bill information is again a part of invoice method. So employee table, the 2 methods are again applied on the employee table. To get weekly hour limits, because this is the required for comparing the job done or work done in that particular week. So total number of hours work done in that particular week and the weekly hour limit. If that total number of hours worked is less than weekly hour limit, then the time sheet is accepted. And if the timesheet is rejected, so update the employee history. So employee, the comment is sent by the clerk to the employee that your timesheet is rejected because of these three reasons. So finally, the entity centric service notification, sending the message to the employee, sending the message to the manager. So one notification service is also required. So when these entities are again integrated, you will get an integrated view of timesheet submission process.